Welcome to Booklandia, where we review romance novels.
This and every episode are chock full of oversharing and spoilers. Every episode is rated E for explicit.
Hello.
Hi! As the intro was rolling, I realized we didn't do our normal pre-show check because it's been so long since we've recorded. I feel like I've forgotten how to do everything.
Same. Absolute same. So I'm Sky, and you're Ford. And
right.
I've forgotten to point to the right direction. It has, in fact... we got it. It has, in fact, been a very long time since the last time we've recorded an episode because, and I think a lot of people are feeling this right now, we have been not just a little busy or a lot busy, but heapfuls and heapfuls of everything we were meant to do this year and everything we were meant to do last year, but are now doing it this year on top of the stuff already scheduled for this year, happened. All of it happened. It was great, but it was a lot. It has been a lot, at least in my life, schedule-wise.
Won't say it's been great. As a, a self-proclaimed debilitated homebody, I have been not in my house. So I reject everything and refuse to continue.
It's going well already. Excellent. Well,
it sure is.
So the point of this episode is not to talk about one book because...
Oh, yeah, no. We're already, we're coming back from not doing it for a while, and we're doing something completely different. So it hasn't been long for you all listeners, but it's been a while for us.
It's been a while for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a catch-up episode. Not a catch-up episode. Though, there's probably some validity to talking about the condiment.
I would like to say maybe metaphorically it's also a catch-up episode because we're doing tiny little book packets of information.
Adorable.
Just wee little book reviews.
And I don't have a
catch-up. A whole lot of them.
Right. And I don't have a catch-up graphic.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Finn, please insert a catch-up sound effect here.
Squish.
That's the one he's going to go with. I'm almost sure of it. But yes, to continue the catch-up metaphor, so tiny little book packets, they're all loose in a drawer, and we're going to just pick out the books we've read over the last couple of months, and tell you what we've read, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we're just going to squirt them on the fries of your life.
I like it. That was a good, you wrapped that up really nice. Well done, you.
Thank you.
That was
studied
excellent.
Improvisation.
Lovely. So most of these we will have already reviewed on our Instagram account or will very soon as we catch up to doing that. So, in case we blow past the title really quickly during the episode, head over there, see if you can spot the ones you like, check the grid, and you will most likely find these. At least all the ones I put on the list are ones that I know I've written reviews for. Before we really jump in, and we've sort of started on this, how are you?
No. Well, this is my first full weekend off since November. We're recording in, what month is it? End of April. So I'm living, I'm drinking, I'm wearing shorts. It's been a few months because the last time we recorded, I was doing a show and I was in the key lime pie. I was just recording from a slice of key lime pie. And, but now, firstly, behold, we have a recording shed, aka an external office in our house. We built this in the pandemic. So, enjoy the new view. If you're just listening and not watching this on YouTube or Instagram, sorry about it. It's very cute. This telescope here, Finn found this in a park downtown, just hanging out in a park downtown, unattended for an hour. So I'm convinced it's haunted. So we have this haunted telescope.
Excellent. Definitely something you should bring home.
He brought it home. Why did he bring the... Okay. All right. So that happened. But most importantly, I started a new job. So I now also work in academia. So Yelena, oh geez, bleep it out. Bleep it out. So Sky and I both work in academia now, and we'll have to figure out our lives. And from September to May,
new schedule for sure. How do? Yes.
So yeah, I still work in theater, but I work for a theater department at a major university as an associate production manager, and I'm just like making paperwork all day long, and it's pretty great. Yeah. And then I get to drive golf carts. Like, perk. Total perk.
That is a perk, actually. Yes, I am frequently in need of a golf cart and don't have one on my campus.
Your campus is too hilly. I think they would just reject the hills and just slide backwards.
That is perhaps why we do not have them. That is very possibly the case.
How are you? How have you been? I feel like I haven't seen you in a million years anyway.
True story there. I have been very, very busy, and I'm always very busy. But when I say I'm very busy, it means I'm like on human amounts busy, and it has everything to do with the fact that everything that was meant to be this year is this year, and then everything that was meant to be last year is also this year. And then I've also, and again, I feel like a lot of people are doing this. I have changed the way that I look at my goals from just coasting from day to day or wishing and hoping for things. I am actually asking for them or reaching for them or, I don't know, affirmation, speaking about them. I do not do that at all. I don't ever. So, I've basically, put more of myself out into the universe. Yeah, I'm a whole person. I'm a very properly functioning American is how I would describe this state. Exactly. But because of that, there's a lot of opportunity coming my way, which is lovely and wonderful, but also time consuming. So I too need to learn how to rebalance my life in a way that isn't leaving any parts of my life out, because I like quite a few parts of my life very much, and I'd like to keep them all, including figuring out how not to miss you for 4 months at a time.
Right. We'd see each other at like theater openings, and we'd be like, hello. By the way, literally Thursday night when we saw each other, you just kept walking to your car and did not say goodbye. Just wanna point that out. You just kept walking and you did not say goodbye.
Well, the upside of not saying goodbye is that we never said goodbye. I am sorry about that.
It's okay.
It was
you had a babysitter. I understand.
We had a babysitter.
I didn't realize it till I was like in bed. It was midnight. And I was like, that bitch.
Well, I do apologize. I have a terrible habit of not saying goodbye. That's actually true.
I mean, the Irish goodbye, quote unquote, where you just like drift out of a party and say goodbye to no one. Like, I dig that. And I think we're in a place in our relationship where we could just not do that. But I just want to point it out that you started this.
Sorry about that.
It's on the record. It's on the record.
All right. Well, it is on the record. All right. Should we talk about books?
Yeah. Do you want to tell me about what you've read the last 4 months?
Yes, because so I read a whole bunch of books, all of which I gave 4 stars. I also read a couple of books that did not get 4 stars, but I found like solid 4-star chunks of books, and most of them by authors that have big backstock libraries that I've just not been aware of. I blame marketing for some of it, because some of these books have been marketed as women's fiction instead of romance, and I have not been paying attention to them because I require a certain heat level in order for me to have any interest in reading a book, and particularly when I'm busy. So I'm so very glad that I found these, and now I need you to read all of them so that you know why I'm so obsessed. So here
Okay,
are
well,
my
convince me.
elevator pitches for all of these books. Look at that pose. You're already against it. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, and actually, I just finished the last available one in the series, is the Bergman Brothers series by Chloe Leese. And
Okay.
it is about a family. There are 7 siblings in the family. All of them are adults.
It's too many. That's too many siblings.
They are Swedish and American. And the first book in the series is a brother. He is hard of hearing, and it is a recent injury that has left him hard of hearing, and he is not interested in learning how to communicate with the world because he's sort of chosen that moment to walk away from everyone. And she is a soccer player, and she doesn't process emotion, or she chooses not to process her emotions. She just puts them out on the field. And his brother happens to be their math professor in their like college math class and starts playing matchmaker for them. And it's lovely and wonderful. It talks about being hard of hearing, being new to that community. It talks about depression. It talks about anxiety. It talks about learning disabilities. It has a really in-depth conversation about um, uh, uh, like a relationship with a parent. There's content warning, parent death, and so there's a lot of conversation about like forgiveness and resentment and how to process that. The thing that impressed me the most, this is the thing that I love the most about book. This is how a book gets 4 stars for me. The black moment is not predictable because I was like, oh, this will be like, I was like, this will be the black moment, and then that moment came and went, and then a completely different moment is the black moment. They do talk to each other, and my only complaint about book 1 is that there is a ridiculously hot scene with a mirror, and it's the epilogue. And I'm like, put the mirror scene way sooner. I need more of these, please and thank you. And then you get to know the entire family. And so the second book is about one of the other brothers. It's actually about the. Yes, it's about no. Wait, the second book is about one of the other brothers, one of the other older brothers, who's a hockey player and lives in California. So it was a little relatable for me as a Californian because I knew exactly what they were talking about.
But a hockey player? So he plays for the Kings?
Yes, he does.
Like,
he plays
that's
for
the only hockey team.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
He plays for the Kings.
Okay. Okay.
And then that one deals with visible disability and the like people considering like thinking about someone with a visible disability as either a superhero being frail, and a conversation that has to do with the autonomy of people with visible disabilities. Just a lovely conversation about all of that. Again, really great at communicating. The third book is actually about the meddling professor brother and his wife, and it's a second chance romance about their relationship that is now 10 years into their marriage and what it's like to be 10 years into a marriage. I related to that one a bunch because 10 years into a wedding. And so there was a lot of me being like, ooh, do I do this? Like, it made me really introspective.
Is that where the conversation we had about do you say thank you for things to your spouse came from? Ah, interesting. We had a really good dialogue on our book club about this. Do you say thank you to your spouse for bringing you a glass of water from the kitchen or whatever, or do you not?
Yeah, for the little things that make you, that like sort of fall into the I accept that these things are done for me category, or do you not? And then the final book that I just finished is about again, one of the brothers. So the only one. So 3 of them are about the brothers. One of them is about the sister, because the one in the marriage is actually the sister is part of the Bergman family, and then her husband is I was going to say
book 4.
So book 4 is about the brother yet another brother. So they all have really, so it's Rydar.
I don't care about.
Yeah, you don't care about the names. So it's so brother, brother, sister, brother.
Okay. Got it. Caught up. Awesome. The professor is married into the family.
Yes, the professor is married into the family.
Okay. I'm all caught up. Continue.
There you go. Anyways, so this last one was actually my least favorite of the bunch. I felt like it had the most predictable Black moment and the most and the least amount of communication. But it foreshadowed 3 more books, possibly, because there are 3 more siblings to cover. And one of them is very young. She's 13 right now, but we'll wait. We'll wait. Anyways, they're very good. Communication is wonderful. I feel like Chloe Lisa's big thing is both visible and invisible disabilities, people who are neurodivergent, people who deal with anxiety and processing disorders, and how those people find love and communicate with their loved ones. A thing that needs more books about, right? There should be more books normalizing that. So I recommend that entire series. In the same vein,
but yeah. No. Can you go back to the Steam? Because if the Steam is epilogue only, I'm not in.
Oh, okay. So the first 3 books, there's plenty of Steam all over the place. And like one of the books has a massage scene, and it's meant to just be a massage, and it turns. And I was like, I did not know that I was going to get this excited about someone getting a massage. But I did. So very Steam. This last one, maybe why I didn't like it as much. Only it was an epilogue, but it was prolonged.
Later half.
It's later half. They do talk about edging and how these 2 characters are really into prolonging their pleasure. So perhaps that's why. But I was like, just do it already. I have blue balls and I am just reading this.
So not into literary edging.
I am not into literary edging. Nope.
I think this is maybe the crux of our friendship, is that we both agree that neither of us are into literary edging.
True story. But beyond that, I highly recommend them. They're lovely. There's conversations, open conversations about consent, about birth control, about protection. Yes to all of that. Very lovely. The other series that I want to bring up that is in a very similar vein, in terms of the amount of conversation, the surprise of how the Black moments go, the very open consent, and the really diverse group of people are the Say Everything series by Ronnie Lauren. Oh my wow. So again, Ronnie Lauren has a bunch of books out there, and and I knew about her books. The first one is Yes and I Love You, and the second one is Only You and Me, When It's You and Me. And there's a third one that's going to come out in that series that hasn't come out yet. They're wonderful.
Yeah, she has a backstock.
She has a backstock. That's a difference. There, she has 2 other series that are really well known that I just wasn't aware of. These particular books, the Say Everything books, were definitely in the women's fiction. And then everyone on TikTok was like, they're way too steamy for women's fiction. They are super hot. Hard agree. They are super hot. The hot part starts very early, and there's a lot of them, and it's great. The first one deals with he has ADHD, and he has a learning disability, and he has dyslexia, and she has Tourette's, and it's about how to communicate through Tourette's and with Tourette's, and it's great. Again, it's a character we don't frequently see be a main character. In the second book, she's a survivor of abuse, and he is an amputee who's a former firefighter, and so he has physical scars and she has emotional scars, and it's how they are going to share those stories with each other and be vulnerable together when they've spent so much of their time building up shells around each other. Both of them have really wonderful conversations about being open with your partners and the tools that you need, and whether or not you need a counselor in the room with you, things like that. Yes, like, yes, I'm obsessed. Where is book 3?
Excellent. Wow. Okay. All right.
All right. And then if you're looking for a laugh and not necessarily steam at all, I accidentally discovered Finley Donovan. We won one of the books in the series in a contest. And so I went back and read book 1 and then book 2. They're hilarious. It's like if everything in your life just goes sideways and you still have to take your kids to daycare, is like, I was just like, oh my, it's not possible for Finley to have a worse day. And then she has a worse day. She's accidentally confused for a killer for hire at a Panera Bread while trying to sell her book to her publisher. And she is desperate for money and she ends up not killing anyone for hire necessarily, but she ends up in the situation, and then her babysitter gets involved, and then she gets she gets into a relationship with one of the police officers who's solving the murder that she might have committed, but not intentionally. Like, he's just hot and she can't help herself. And then she gets involved with her lawyer and her ex-husband, and it's just like, Finley. It's amazing. It's laugh out loud funny. It's definitely a different bag than what we usually read, but it was so funny. It was so good, and it's so quick. There's going to be a 3rd book in that series as well. Not for another year or so. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not there yet. Okay, and then the special shout out. Ooh, a special shout out goes to The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. It's a second, I put that in quotes, in the series that the first one is the Worst Best Man. It's the same world, and you see glimpses of the people from The Worst Best Men, but they're really not connected to each other beyond that. So it's just like you already know one of the side characters. It was lovely. It was wonderful. There is a surprise sex party, and it surprised me. And I was like, tell me more about this. And during
did it?
I'm sorry, and did it surprise me?
Did it tell you more? No, did it tell you more about the sex party?
Yes. So it definitely, so they didn't know they're walking into a sex party. They think they're just walking into a mixer, and then their phones get taken away. Oh, also, spoiler alert. They walk in, they realize what's happening. I know, I'm sorry. They realize what's happening, and then they go and hide in the bathroom. And I definitely thought that was going to be it, that they were going to figure out a way to exit, and they don't. And I was like, I did not see that. I definitely was like, oh no, like they're going to freak out. It's going to be a funny moment, not a sexual moment. And then that's not what happens.
Huh. Well.
So, yeah.
So no spoilers on that. Thank you.
No, but definitely.
This is where you don't spoil. Okay.
That's right. I'm just going to set it up for that's the blue balls moment. All right. Okay. I want to make sure that you have time to sell to give me
sell it.
some stuff. I'm gonna sell it.
I've never worked in retail. I'm not selling you jack shit. This is a report out. Hard. And
there you go. Just facts. I will say I have read a couple of things that I was not a fan of. And
tell the people.
Yeah. So I read. Go read the reviews, all I'm going to say on this one. But I read a book called Dating Dr. Dill, which by Nisha Sharma, which had all the makings of a brilliant idea. Yeah. It's a retelling. It's a modern retelling of Taming of the Shrew, set up in the community of Indian Americans here in the U.S. And there's more planned in that series. Nisha Sharma is also a very prolific writer with a huge backlog of stuff. But so early on, the male character refers to his penis as Charlie. Just like in a casual internal monologue, Charlie. And firstly I was like, you're an Indian man with a penis named Charlie? But sure. I guess Okay. I mean, Charlie has really like childlike associations in my head, but I'm not this person. It's fine. But then in a sex scene out loud to his partner, he says, Charlie wants some. And it was like a bucket of cold water. I was like, I want none anymore. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then it happens multiple other times.
Look, was his partner into it?
I mean, she didn't stop him.
So how's he to know?
True.
You may not have consented to it, but apparently
I did not.
She did?
Or she didn't object to it. Yeah, it was very off-putting, and then like the rest of the story I had a little bit of a hard time with because I don't think that the transposition of taming was as well done as 10 Things I Hate About You. Though really should not be comparing. Yeah, you should not be comparing to that. But I didn't love the transposition. I didn't quite connect with the characters. And then all the sex scenes were just a dry spell because I was like, no mentions of Charlie. Please.
Wow. It's the opposite of arousal. What is the opposite of arousal?
A desert.
Okay. So like that was it. That was like the worst thing.
That was the worst one. Okay. I mean, yeah. The other things I put on in my list are sort of like middle of the road, and so for those, go check out our Instagram account.
Excellent. All right, so it's my turn now, yeah?
It is your turn for sure.
Okay, great. Let's open another beer. Here we go. All right, so I'm like, I just started today the 13th Barbarian Aliens book. 13. And I can't explain why. Because the books range from like 3 stars to 5 stars. Like, there's no consistency whatsoever. I did pause it, and maybe I did it on our Barbarian Aliens episode earlier this season, but I know I posited in our book club that I think that I'm more attracted to stories where something major happens in the world, like a world building external arc. So it's so Barbarian Aliens, humans are abducted, they crash land on this ice planet, they are brought into a tribe of giant blue aliens, and because of the symbiote they have to take to exist on the planet, they are fatedly mated to men of this tribe. And there are apparently 19 of them, books and unmated males, so far. Actually, no. One of them is a second chance, so 18. Anywho, like they're smutty and they're easy, and there's like low stakes but also high stakes. Like, I care enough about what is happening to most of the characters, but like also like 5 stars to 3 stars. I can't explain it, but I will listen to this book for the rest of the day. And probably finish it tomorrow.
So I paused like on book 4, and I paused at book 4, and partially like it's because they're all really, to me, they're really similar. The stakes are really similar. I'm thinking that maybe I paused to save it for like summer reading, maybe. Or maybe not. I needed some more meat on the bones of the characters, and these are, as you've described them, potato chip books that like you can just like yeah, and they're lovely in their own, like they have their place, and I did like the ones that I read enough to keep reading, but I also am not sitting here being like, oh no, I haven't been reading Barbarians. I'm like totally not bereft without them.
Oh, anytime I get one from the library, I'm like, oh, thank God. I didn't want to read whatever I was reading anyway. I'll just like turn it on and do a puzzle. It's comfort, I guess. There's some weird comforting feeling to it. So, I don't know. I've read like 6 of those since the last time we've hung out.
Yeah, I bet. So I think the best selling point here is that you're not an audiobook person, or you were not until the barbarian books. And now you listen to books.
After these. Well, I listen to these books. I'm very selective. And have you noticed this trend, and maybe this is for an after the break conversation, but this trend where authors are writing audio novellas and publishing audio novellas, and then a month later the ebook version of it comes out. Very interesting. Anywho, continuing on, there's no time for chitter chatter. Sky, geez, stop trying to distract me. I've read a lot of books physical, so please enjoy the visual of This Is How You Lose the Time War. This book is by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone, so they each took a character and wrote from that point of view. And this book is fucking poetry. It's fucking beautiful, and I can't stand it, and I'm mad about it. And this is the book I would throw in your face if we were in the room, because I think you would really dig it.
I already read it.
Look, you read it like 4 years ago, okay?
Yes, I read it when it first came out. So yeah, I would absolutely reread this. I'm sorry.
Rude. No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, then you would throw it back at me, and that's fine. We're even. So I gave that one 5 stars, but it's not very steamy. It's a kind of a YA young adult, new adult situation, and you don't need it. You don't need the steam. It's incredible. It's an incredible book. But to jump back into the steam, we have this slim, delicate novel, Sacking the Quarterback by Samantha Towle. And here it got 1 star just because it's on James Patterson's Bookshots Flames imprint. So James Patterson published this book, and it's also like 128 pages, and it cuts to the meat. It's a really strong novella about a football player who gets in trouble with the law and the lawyer who doesn't want to prosecute him. Very clearly, the author was not an American, because she did not describe the male as an American quarterback, like body type. She described him as a rugby player body type. Like she's like, he's a huge guy, broad shoulders, very tall. And I'm like, quarterbacks are tall, but they are not hugely muscled. They're generally very lean. And it was not right. It's not right. But she did take some pot shots at American football teams. And so for that, chef's kiss. We've got Mr. Wrong Number. This is by Lynn Painter. We really liked Lynn Painter's YA debut better
than the movies.
Better. Thank you. Better than the movies. This book is her first adult. It didn't hit the mark for me. I gave it 3 stars. It 3 on the spicy level. Like, there were some sex scenes. They were fine. It was nothing to write home about, which is kind of a bummer. I'm going to say it, hot take, is like a poor man's Josh and Hazel, Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, where she's quirky and he's buttoned up and always wears a suit and is kind of a straight-laced guy.
I don't disagree, but there's a lot of misogyny in Mr. Wrong Number. I could have lived without all of that.
Yeah. And she leaves a perfectly nice,
really expensive mattress. Yeah.
In a hallway. Yeah.
In a hallway.
It's just rude. It's just rude.
Agreed.
Next up, so this is the one I haven't written a review. Hold on, I better drink more. Okay. I haven't written a review for this one, and I don't know if I will, because I can't, how do you put into words Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas? She writes incredible books. Also, I read it 2 months ago, so I barely remember anything, but I remember all the bits, but not, I remember how it makes me feel now, but not why it makes me feel that way. It's just this weird, I already love it and can't tell you why. I love it and I can't tell you why. That might be my review. 1 sentence.
Excellent. Well, can I borrow it?
Yes, of course. Should I bring
Okay.
it tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds great. Hey everyone, we have plans tomorrow to see each other in person.
Guess what? We're going to see each other at the theater. That's where we see each other.
Those
now.
are the only plans we ever make. All right.
Wait, I'm not done. Don't all write me. Jeez.
Oh, I'm all writing you to keep going.
Oh, okay. I thought you were all writing me into a break, and I'm not okay with that. I'm talking quickly. And I still have time. All right. Okay. To Marry and to Meddle by Martha Waters. Third in a series. This one is about a theater owner, and so I think I had some high expectations, and it did not meet them. And thank you. I reminded myself of a thing I wanted to say. So you had a rash of 4 stars, which is exceptional for you. You don't often highly rate things.
Agree.
I had a rash of 2 stars. I'm usually the nice one, and I'm like, oh, it was fine. 3 stars at least. Okay. Martha Waters, it was a 2-star. It was just not good. I didn't care. Whatever. Bleh. Just bleh. I get so bogged down in like historicals where it's all about societal appearance bullshit. I can't. I'm out. It also was not steamy, and I'm just, what are we here for? Why was I there? Can't even. Another in the 2-star category was Compass Rose by Anna Burke. This came recommended from an employee at the Ripped Bodice, and my friend bought it. She read it. She liked it. She does a guest review on our Instagram, so come by and see what Lucy has to say. She was much nicer about it because as I was reading it and talking to her about it, she's like, oh yeah, that sucked. Oh yeah, that sucked. I should have reviewed that in a more mean way. So I changed her mind about how much it sucked. It was just like, you think a book that is like lesbian pirates, like that sounds incredible. The only great thing about it was this post-apocalyptic world that she created where there are pirates because the world has been like, the ice caps have melted, the water is toxic, everything's on fire, and everybody has to live on these like floating islands, and so there are pirates. And that was the best part, like them talking about microplastics and like sustainability, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. How do we, when we've destroyed the world, how will I live, how will I survive? Because the lesbians, that was not, it was not, there was like, the intimacy was not good. There was very little. I just, 2 stars, that's all you need to know. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I gave this 3 stars, but one of our best friends in our book club gave it 5 stars, and she never 5 stars anything. But it's incredible. But it's A Sign for Home by Blair Fell, and it's not a romance. It's about a deaf-blind young man who hires a new intern to help him that he's taking. This deafblind man is also a Jehovah's Witness, so he's stuck under the thumb of his religion and his family, but really wants to like live life and experience the world. So it was a beautiful book, and I yelled at all of you about it in our book club. But I really enjoyed the ASL parts of it and the learning and teaching nature of it, but it was pitched to me as more romantic than it actually was. So if there had been more of a romance line instead of his journey to get the girl, I probably would have scored it higher. Then lastly, but not leastly, Games in a Ballroom by Gentry Flint. This is I think their debut novel, perhaps. It's another period drama. It is like 0 steam. There's like nothing. They maybe hold hands. I can't even. I know. But I did give it 4 stars. So I don't know. Am I sick? Am I dying? Maybe. Who knows? The premise is, and I can't remember anybody's name because I read it 2 months ago, and we're on our second cider. The male character is in love with this female character, but her family wants her to marry well, and he's just a businessman. So he devises a plan to get her to fall in love with him by everyone in their friend group playing tag during balls, which is very not done. Adults don't play tag during society events. And so it was just a guise for them to be around each other more. And I think as a first book, it was good. It was a good outing. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, 5 stars, 2 stars, all over the board. It's been a wild couple of book reading months, I think.
It sounds like it. Okay, now I am gonna tell us to take a break.
Fine.
All right, I will see you in a second. We'll be right back.
We're going to take an intermission.
Okay.
When we come back, we will discuss our favorite moments from the book and if this book made us want to get naked.
All right, and we are back, and we are talking about gravity. We're talking about the fact that sometimes gravity happens when you drink and the drink doesn't go in your mouth. We're also talking about the fact that we haven't recorded an episode in forever. So this episode is called The Catch Up, and we just downloaded a bunch of book names and very, very short reviews into your brains. Now we're going to talk about what we're excited to read for the
book names and
more book names.
Very short blurbs about what they might be about.
Yes, absolutely. That is exactly what we're going to do. I'm really excited. So I get a lot of reading done over the summer because academic calendars, and because I do that. Reading excessively is my stress relief, my downtime. And so I do get a lot of reading done over the summer. I also think that I'm not the only one. So publishing houses definitely know this. So there are a lot of books that get released for the summer reading and the summer book clubs that happen. And a lot of them tend to be in the categories that I am currently reading. And in fact, this is how Stress Relief Book Club started, is me needing some stress relief reading during the summer months in between the really busy work months. So without further ado, and with many more words, these are the books that I am looking forward to in the coming months. This is not a comprehensive list by any means. Beth O'Leary has a new release called The No Show. I just started it, but I'm only 20 pages in, so I have no idea truly where it's going, but it's a romance.
So you don't know who didn't show up?
I don't yet know who didn't show up.
Do you know who shows? Okay.
No, because it starts with someone waiting on a date and the date doesn't show up, but we don't know who the date should have been. And I have not yet gotten to the part where that's revealed. So I don't know if that's going to be a long thing or a short thing, but I've met a bunch of characters and I've met the person who got stood up. Christina Lauren, who are one of my favorites to read in the summer downtime, have a new book out called Something Wilder, and
comes out in 2 weeks. Comes out on May 17th.
Okay, so depending on when this episode airs.
Excellent.
May 17th.
I'm just here for facts.
Excellent. So comes out on May 17th, which will start the summer reading cycle. It's going to be great. Okay. Allie Hayes,
so just
please.
Hold up before you go. So I got to see their panel at the Festival of Books this year. And to give a little blurb about what this is about, the female character runs a sort of like fake adventures in the mountains of Utah, sort of outing company. Them's the words. And the boy that shut up, everybody, just shut up. The love interest is on a company retreat What the hell was that sound?
Children.
Are people dropping bowling balls in your apartment? Jesus. Okay.
It's possible.
The male love interest is on a company retreat on one of these like treasure hunting trips that she runs. They also, I think, were like school student flames. It's a second chance at any rate. And then they find out that there might actually be real treasure. So this one is an action-y, adventure-y romance, which I'm very excited about. That's right. There's a treasure map.
All right, that is exciting. Apologies on me having life above my microphone, apparently. Sorry.
Rude. Podcasting exists in a bubble.
I'm going to need to get more bubble then. Okay. I am very excited for it.
Yes.
I do love to start my summer read with a Christina Lauren. It's become kind of a tradition since On Honeymooners, which was like my very first one of the summer reads that really propelled me into a relaxed state. All right. The next one I'm excited about, and I genuinely don't know if it's coming out early in the summer or late in the summer, but Ali Hazelwood has a second book in the series. It's later. Is Your Gesture.
Early
and
August.
I thought so. It's called Love on the Brain. I'm still really excited for it. I really liked Love Hypothesis. And there's a short story in between.
This one is set at NASA in Houston.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Well, I'm very excited for it. And then there's a short story that I need to catch up on before I read the other one, because I think they're all connected. And then Katie Robert has a book coming out. Well, Katie Robert has a lot of books coming out, but this is the one I'm excited about. It's called Wicked Beauty. It's the third in the something Olympus. Dark Olympus, not Lore Olympus. I am also excited about Lore Olympus, but that's a different thing. Yes. So Dark Olympus series. I read the first two. I loved the first one. I did not love the second one. I am hoping this one evens the score back out to the love. But
this one's about Helen and
Paris. Patroclus and
Achilles.
That's right.
And it's a triad.
It's a triad. So yes. And all three of them are competing to be the new
Aries?
Yes, correct. In this particular world. Yes. So I'm very excited. I love me a good triad. So we'll see. Hopefully it's going to work out.
Mythology. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then in YA news, Rachel Lynn Solomon, whom I love the YA of all the time.
This is a Rachel Lynn Solomon stan podcast.
Yes.
You didn't know already.
True story. Even when we're like, hey, maybe like, go listen to Weather Girl. We were like, Weather Girl, but Rachel Lynn Solomon, definitely yes. Anyways, so her new YA is called See You Yesterday, and the cover looks really similar to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. So I'm really curious to find out how they correlate, if they do, but they do look like they belong in the same series, which might be really exciting. That one is already out. So
incorrect.
Oh, well, again, who knows when this is?
May 17th, when all books come out.
I see it. So I'm just living in 2 weeks from now or whatever. Understood. Okay, well, it's coming out really soon, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. And obviously, by the time that I get to it, it will have come out.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even care what it's about. I'm going to read it. I know nothing. I'm going to read it. Like,
true story. Same.
I just throw my money and my time at Rachel Lynn Solomon. So
that is true.
Worth it.
Yes. No? All right. That is my new release exciting list. I realized, looking at yours, that I like all of these are mostly heteronormative, triad being the only exclusion. Where are my queer romances? Why are they not on this list?
Well, okay. Here I come. Here is your LGBT summer reads. Firstly, and I can't believe you didn't have this on your list, is the new Casey McQuiston book, Or are you sick?
No,
Do you have a deathly illness? Okay. Just had to check. I don't know what's wrong with you. So her new book is called I Kissed Shara Wheeler. I don't know when it came out. Hold on. Is it out? No, I don't know.
It might also be May 17th. All of this might be on the same day, just not the day we're in today.
It's not. It's not. It's fine. I'll look later. And look, she is another person. I don't know what the book is about. I think there's something like someone disappears and she leaves notes. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Here's my money. Casey
Yes.
Twist and Stan podcast. Also, can't believe this is not on your list. Hold on, wait away from it. This is the sound of me scrolling. The new Dahlia Adler book, who you were obsessed about last year.
Agreed. Dahlia Green doesn't give a. Is that it?
Not that. Nope. This is the one about the girl who goes on who moves and then she falls in love with her friend. And her friend is so cool. But she is dating the like football player guy. Cool.
Oh, no.
All right. Well,
no, I'm sorry. Are you thinking about the name of the book that I really liked? Because that was Cool for the Summer. And
yes, Cool for the Summer. Yeah.
I was telling you the name of Dahlia Adler's new book.
Which is called Home Field Advantage.
Home Field Advantage. Thank you.
Yes, you were thinking of a completely different book that had Dahlia in the title.
Yes.
It's fine. Look, there's a lot in this episode alone. There have been so many names that has names in the titles.
Agreed. Home Field Advantage.
2, 3. Okay, yes, Home Field Advantage. Okay. Which it appears to be lesbians, and one of the characters appears to be a football player on her team, on her high school sports team.
Yes.
Yes. So the cover.
Right, so it'll be YA, and my review of Cool for the Summer was, if I read this book in high school, it would have been amazing. So I feel like that might be my read on Dahlia Adler stuff, is that it is meant for people in high school, and that's wonderful. I do think that that's different for me with Rachel Lynn Solomon, who does write also about high schoolers, but I, as an adult, I'm enjoying them, as opposed to being like, my high school brain would have loved this. That does not mean that I will not buy this book and read it. So,
on the male side of it, on the gay side, Husband Material by Alexis Hall is coming out in August, which is the second in the Boyfriend Material series. Which, if you haven't read that, go pick that up, read it now. Second one comes out in August. I believe it's a continuation of their story, not second characters, which is very exciting. You don't get a lot of those. Those are like the ones I'm really excited about this summer. There's a new TJ Klune coming out in the Extraordinary series, which is also queer as fuck. And Ruby Barrett has a book called The Romance Recipe about lesbians. I think one of them is a baker or a chef or something. So
I'm already hungry. Great.
Me too. Shall I drink my dinner?
No? I mean, also yes. No judgments.
Okay.
It's your day off. Right. Do what you gotta do.
And I have another day off tomorrow. This is a revolutionary concept, everybody. 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
When we log off of here, what book are you going to go read? What are you reading next? What are you reading now? What's happening in your book life?
Currently, I'm reading The No-Show by Beth O'Leary, because I already said that. And I'd like to find out who is the No-Show, so I'm going to keep reading it. What's your current read?
Well, as of this morning, I have decided to DNF my 6th book. I don't DNF a lot. I'm like, it'll get better. I want to see what happens. It's going to be great, I'm sure. 3 stars everything. 3 stars across the board. But I'm DNFing the 6th book of Outlander. I read the first 5. And this book, I can't anymore. And what I've realized is that period books don't have to be misogynistic, and they don't have to be homophobic. Like, your characters are from a modern period of time. They don't have to feed into the period ideas. They can reject those. They don't have to be like, oh, maybe you're right. I can't anymore. Even though Jamie Fraser is my book boyfriend, I'm just gonna watch the show. I'm done and I'm out, which is, I think, a pretty big sign, because I've read 5 books. My completionism is like, but you could finish these, you could do it. I'm like, no. The trouble is, I don't know what to read next, because nothing is bubbling to the surface yet.
Well, Barbarians.
Right.
As a palate cleanser.
Yes, absolutely. I have Crescent City 2. I'm leaning towards that. I bought Real by Kennedy Ryan. So that's on the top of the stack. But then also part of my brain is like, what's on the bottom of the stack? So stay tuned. Who knows?
Mysteries to be solved.
Mysteries to be solved. Or like, come at me. What do I need to read?
There you go.
I'm also considering some Rachel Lynn Solomon backstock, because she's definitely got 2 that I haven't read. So that's on the docket for me. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, keep us posted. I think I'm gonna I think Allie Hazelwood is next for me after Beth O'Leary, but you never know. We'll see. Yeah. My intrigue is not as intriguing as yours. Just like whatever book you're about to hand me, Crescent City, we might just be there.
Crescent City of rock and roll, Crescent City. Okay, anyway, I am so excited we did this. I've missed you very much. I'm excited to see you tomorrow. I'm excited to see all of you, dear listeners, tomorrow. Probably, right?
Come
You're
to
all
YouTube.
Going to the theater, right?
Yes. Exactly. I will see you tomorrow. I will also see you here for the next recording soon. Okay. Very soon.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. Everybody get excited. It's gonna happen. We're definitely gonna review a singular book next time. No promises.
Okay, thank you. I do not promise the people anything. Sign nothing. I love you, friend. I'll see you soon.
I love you back. See you soon.
Thank you for joining us for an episode of Booklandia.
For more Booklandia, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at l.skyford, Twitter at skyfordl, and hit up our blog, lskyford.com.
We love you to the moon and back, so don't forget to rate and subscribe.
Our eternal thanks for the audio editing and support provided by Finnegan Murphy, who you can find on Twitter at Finnegan1, that's FIONNEGAN, numeral 1, and sometimes Sky herself.